When was the last time you heard of a male-only scholarship, or a scholarship that's only given to men and excludes women, or some type of benefits or rewards that are exclusively handed out and given to men without including women? More than likely, you've never heard of it, because I've never heard of it and I looked it up and it doesn't exist. Oftentimes in society, we just overlook these things, especially for the fact that the majority of scholarships are for women and they benefit strictly women. Men are excluded from the majority of scholarships and aren't even considered based solely on their gender. And I'm here to speak up about it. There's other content creators that speak up about it, but we need to continue to push out videos like this that explain how there's such a double standard in society. And oftentimes people overlook the fact that men just aren't given the same privileges as women anymore. And they never really have. We're born, we go to war, we go to work, we provide for the family, then we die. That's usually the life of the male. We're the last ones to leave a sinking ship. We're the first one to offer our life. This is just another way society views men as being disposable, unfortunately. What I find more unfortunate than the disparities for scholarships is the fact that if you speak up against this and you speak out against it, people don't like to hear you. Number one, they shut you down, and people don't believe you. Number two, and oftentimes we just become so accustomed to it that if you try to talk to a female about these things, it's going to go in one ear and out the other, and she's not going to listen to you. So what I'm going to be talking about today is the comment section from a Sony post titled, "Sony is calling for female photographers. Apply for Alpha Female Plus grant program." So this is a $5,000 scholarship with a full frame Sony camera and lens plus more. And you can only apply and you can only be granted this scholarship if you're a woman. So they excluded tons of male photographers right out of the gate. And what I wanted to point out to you guys when we read the comment section is why it's just such a waste of your time to argue with women in the first place and men's rights, because they have no idea what it's like to be a male in today's society. They think that men have just as much, if not more, of the same privileges than they do, without even realizing that we really don't. And in fact, we're discarded much easier than the female is, and we're treated like lower class citizens. But we're not here to complain about it, we're here to address it, and we're here to talk about it. So injustices like this don't just get swept under the carpet and forgotten about, but we can actually address these things, and we can kind of talk about what's the real issue here. Alright, so this comment thread was full of a lot of red pill truths and a lot of things that are ignored in society. So I'm just going to start by reading the first few comments and the replies to those comments, and then we can talk about it as we progress through the comment section. So the first comment that was made by Tom here was, "I feel discriminated against because I'm a male. I know that Sony can do whatever they want. It is their money and their program. But to discriminate against people because of their sex seems wrong. I am being denied an opportunity because I am a man and not a woman. That seems wrong to me." And Tom has a great point right there. Imagine if the roles were reversed. Imagine if there was a scholarship for only men. You know, that doesn't exist in society, but oftentimes we turn a blind eye to those things. And there would be such an uproar if there was only scholarships directed towards men. So then we had a super simp underneath reply to Tom's comment saying, "You cannot participate in women's sports nor go to women's only bathroom. What is your problem with women only competition that Sony has been running for years?" And then Tom says, "My problem with that is there is not a corresponding male-only grant being offered." What is so wrong about that? I see his point exactly. There's no male-only scholarship on the flip side of things. It's only female scholarship. So what if you're a male photographer just trying to get started? You need a few bucks to get started. You need some equipment, some nice gear, and Sony is running a female-only scholarship, so you're not able to get that gear because you're a man and you can figure it out on your own, you know? He goes on to say, "There are men-only bathrooms and there are men's sports, so I'm not being excluded from those things. But when it comes to receiving grant money from Sony, how is this not considered to be sex-based discrimination is beyond my comprehension." And it is, but we've become so accustomed to it in society and through the news, through entertainment, that, you know, it seems like Tom would be in the wrong here for wanting a male-only scholarship on the reverse flip side of things. And then Irene underneath replies, "Let me guess, you think all lives matter too." So then Tom goes on to say, "Yes, of course. Are there any other lives that do not matter? Do you think that all lives matter or only some lives? And do not all lives matter equally, or do some people's lives matter a bit more than others?" Irene goes on to say, "Oh, here we go again. upset male photographers whining that females are getting the attention and recognition. He wasn't whining, he was just asking questions. Photography is extremely male dominated, and most of the opportunities go to male photographers who are considered more quote-unquote professional or more quote-unquote experienced. As a woman, you have to constantly prove yourself and play the game that's rigged from the beginning. So yes, we need those kind of competitions. We need the companies who care about diversity. And from what I know, Female Alpha program focuses on female photographers who shoot genres that are super male dominated, like sports, journalism, wildlife. So it makes even more sense. You might not realize your privilege as a male photographer, especially if you are also white, but it doesn't mean it's not there. And you can maybe, I don't know, try to apply for pretty much any other photography competition out there. You see, guys, when it comes to arguing and debating with women, they simply don't know what it's like to be raised as a man, to be treated as a man, to grow up as a man. You know, women are given a ton of privileges since an early age growing up, and advantages over men that men have to work hard for and grind for, when women are simply handed these things and then they think that we go through the same experiences as them and we're just simply handed things and given the same amount of privileges, if not more than they are, when that's simply not the case. That might have been the case a long, long time ago, but certainly hasn't been in the last century. And Tom goes on to reply, I have never encountered any policy that as a male I am being given preference, nor have I ever encountered any kind of contest or funding that was designated for men only, because it doesn't exist. So you are right, I have never seen any actual evidence that I have any special privilege as a male, because we don't in today's society. If this privilege is there, I have never been aware of it. Perhaps there is some kind of differential treatment going on in which men are preferred and given opportunities that are not given to women. If this is the case, then it must be done behind the scenes in a way that is not documented or declared, because I have never seen such preference being officially extended to male photographers and singling them out for their gender. And it would make more sense that females actually in the photography space would have more clientele, based on the sole fact that a lot of people feel more comfortable in a close proximity space when taking photographs with women instead of men, because of this bias that men are creeps, men will do things, and we can't control our urges, and we're these deviant, sex-driven, disgusting pigs. So women in a safe space taking pictures seems more comfortable. Therefore, they would build up a faster clientele with more men and women because they're feeling comfortable with the photographer if it's a female. So that's going to do it for the thread that I wanted to show you guys. You guys can read the thread. It's linked in the description. I'm sure the comment section has grown since I actually found the thread, so I'm sure there's more comments and more clarification on anything that you guys want me to clarify that maybe I didn't go into depth about the whole scholarship and alpha female program. But I just think it's ridiculous that men are always, we're always thought of to have such an advantage, especially in the work field and the workplace, over women, when in fact it's women dominated and women are actually given preference over males, especially if you're a good looking woman of ethnic background or whatever. You're given such special treatment and such an advantage over others simply based on just how you were born rather than the work you put in and how good of a photographer you are, how good of an artist you are. But what I really want you guys to understand is you can't argue with women when it comes to men's issues and the inequality within the work field and workspace, because they've never been a male, all right? They've never had to experience they've never had to walk the walk, you know what I'm saying? So arguing with a woman like this and going back and forth, you're never going to get through to her. She's never been through a male's life. In fact, research has shown that transgenders who actually transitioned from being born a woman to a male experienced a much more difficult life once they transitioned from being a woman to a man. And I think if every woman were to live just 1 month as a man as opposed to being a woman, they wouldn't be able to live with themselves, because it's totally different having to work your way up from the bottom and build something, create something in order to live and create some type of revenue or income for yourself. Anyways, drop a like on the video, share the content so more men can take the red pill and start waking up. Hit that subscribe button, turn on notifications so you don't miss any more uploads. And I'll see you guys next time. Let me know your thoughts on this issue in the comment section below.